Hi there, can you hear me? I can't hear a thing.
Yeah, we can hear now.
Cool, awesome. Hi everyone, welcome to the second quarter. For the people ops side, I think our main priority right now is that we are growing all of the teams. So please have a look at our open positions, and if you have any referrals, please send them our way using the greenhouse referrals. And if you don't know how, just ping me or Terry. If you have also any recommendations about job boards or groups or blogs, people in the ecosystem that you think we should be reaching out to, we have created a form and I pinned it in the People Ops channel on Discord. So you can just send us any sort of advice or feedback or anything, that even people that you're not comfortable reaching out to yourself because you don't know them. And particularly for the engineering lead role and the Go developers that will be working on the Status Network, we are offering a much higher referral bonus than usual. You can read everything in the Discuss post that I linked in here. Anyways, it is 15K USD value in SNTs for the Go developers, and it is 20 for the engineering lead of that team. Next slide, please. Also, we have a call for volunteers for performance chats. It's a new proposal, which I posted a while back. The details are also in Discuss. Please have a look and reach out to me or to Terry if you would like to participate in that. And I will be chasing up people as well in the next weeks. Next slide, please. I posted a while back the Peakon survey results. We had this quarter, the last month of the last quarter, we did have a version that was entirely about mental health support and how people are feeling about their work with Status. Overall, the results were quite positive. On the COVID impact on all of us, there were quite a few mentions from people particularly taking care of family members, that they felt quite stressed about their teams not always knowing that they were taking time off or they weren't as focused because of having kids at home or because of worry generally due to the situation and the lockdowns. So in order to mitigate that a little bit, we have created a new time off category, which is a family or compassionate leave, which can be used to signal that without needing to be to say it in advance. And we're also looking at adding benefits that will help with mental health and with coaching that would be more common on this. I think these are all my updates, but we would like to go through quite a few anniversaries this time. So we are celebrating Simon in marketing for his first year and Samuel in core. Kim has been with us now 2 years, and Jonathan and Eric 3 years. And then we have the highest tenure of them all, Ricardo, with 4 years on March 23rd past. Next. We have new contributors that started. We welcome with all our hearts Brian and Carl. Carl is starting today, so it's like very warm first day. And we're also welcoming back other contributors. Ned and Nastya returned to us. Nastya is restarting today. Ned was maybe a couple of weeks ago. So this would be everything from my side. I'll leave it up to Terry to go to the next.
Sorry, I can't hear you, Terry, but I suppose I'll start. So that's our update from core. So basically, as some of the users probably noticed, Network was under a bit of spam. Some user was targeting people probably that were posting in public chats and sending group chats invitation spamming. So that's something that we had to do a bit of firefighting against, and as a preventive measure, we decided to put in place some UX and UI measure while the network solution are being worked on by another team, by the back team. So in terms of UI and UX, we worked on the activity center. So basically, you won't be receiving new chat invitation directly in your main chat views, but they're going to be going in a separate section, which is going to be easier to bulk update, and it's not going to be so resource intensive for the app. Also, we're going to give the user an option to receive messages and in group chat invitation from contacts only. And that should sort of like at least alleviate the pain of spam at the product level. Next, we've been working on communities. We worked on notification and the preview, and we worked on some performance improvement when receiving and sending messages. Another thing that we've been working on is an anonymous metrics through Waco that will help us basically shape our product. In terms of releases, we released 1.12, and now we are going to probably cut 1.13 this week, hopefully, including some of the spam measure. We had to cut it a bit earlier than usual, just because we want to include them as soon as possible. Next, we're going to continue the work on communities. We're going to continue working on performance improvements. Anonymous metrics is something that we're going to also keep working on, and pin messages, among other features. And that's it from mobile. So thank you very much, and back to you, Terry.
Thanks, Andrea. Sorry, I believe I had some problems with my sound. Can everyone hear me now?
I can now, yes.
Oh, thank you. Sorry
you.
about that, everyone. Thanks for those updates. Next up, we are going to hear from Alec from Growth and Retention. So over to you, Alec. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Let's all take a closer look at the past quarter. I would like to start by showing you how our brand awareness changed over the year. And numerous metrics and tools show us that status is becoming more and more popular, and that's great. Like we love it. I wish to illustrate it using Google search metrics because these are the simplest, like the easiest one to illustrate the change, the growth. So this chart presents the volume of clicks we received in Q1 this year in comparison to Q1 previous year. As you can see, the quantity of clicks increased by almost 400% over the year. And well, why? Let's take a look at the next slide to know why. So here we are looking at the number of impressions. So it basically shows how many times our website appeared in the Google search results. So basically, because people searched for some keywords which Google associated with our pages. As you can see, we appeared almost 600% more often in the Google search results. But what's important and interesting is that for branded keywords, so keywords like status or status app, we see an increase of almost 800% in terms of clicks and over 1000% in terms of impressions. So basically, people know about us, they want to know more, and they search for us. This isn't ads induced in any way. Let's take a look at the next slide. So this chart shows the volume of app installs we received this year. What's worth mentioning is that these are figures for the app installs we can monitor, like what app installs we know of. So essentially only Google Play and App Store data. And we know there are other sources through which people get our app and install it. So we are getting more app installs. But so far this year, we know about over 9,000 app installs per day. So 9,000 app installs per day, this is cool, right? But how many new users is it? And let's look for the answer on the next slide. What we see here is data from Google Play alone, so not even App Store. As you can see, we are getting over 8,300 new Google Play users per day. Some of those users decide to install the app on multiple devices, and that's why we get more app installs than new users. It's usually around 1.2 app installs per user, a Google Play user. Okay, let's stay in the Google's realm for a bit longer and take a look at the next slide. So installed audience, that's the number of users who, with our app, currently installed on at least one of their devices. So there's almost 500,000 of such people, like people with our app installed. Well, I think it's great, like 500,000, that's impressive. Obviously, the fact that they have the app installed doesn't mean that they use it all the time. So let's take a look at the next slide. which is also based on Google Play data. And well, that's mainly because over 90% of all our new app installs happen through Google Play. But as you can see, on average, we are having over 13,000 daily active users from Google Play, like Android users who got our app through Google Play. So I think it's cool. What I would like to leave you with is on the next slide, and that's a simple summary. So over 900,000 app installs in this quarter and 9,000 app installs per day, almost 750,000 new users acquired on Google Play alone, over 13,000 daily active users, and 500,000 of users with the status app installed. That's all from me for today. Thank you for your attention, and back to you, Terry.
Thanks very much, Alec. Really interesting. Thanks for all those graphs and stats. Next up, we're going to hear from Jacob from Infrastructure. So over to you, Jacob.
Hey, people. Can I get the next slide? So we have a new DevOps engineer, Arthur, which has been working quite a lot on the Nimbus fleets. He has added a new setup for libp2p branches for testing those. We have a new testnet fleet for the Prater network running Nimbus nodes. And we're also exploring possible migration to Hetzner hosts in order to reduce the costs, because AWS is quite expensive. So we're exploring the possibility of running multiple hosts on a single individual hardware host from Hetzner. We also have some improvements to the NIM-WACU fleet. We have persistent peer retention, so we don't lose peers between restarts. We also have better health checks thanks to new JSON RPC calls. There's a lot of new infrastructure for business intelligence that we've been setting up. This is specifically requested by marketing, but not only, and it's going to be used for all kinds of data analysis and visualization. We have Apache Airflow and Apache Superset, first for managing data flows, and the second for essentially analyzing and visualizing them. And we'll be using Citus Postgres database for columnar optimized storage. These things aren't scaled yet, but as we start using them, we'll probably scale them out and get more workers, more dedicated machines for Postgres. If anyone is interested in using this, I've already started explaining how these things work to a few people. So if you have any ideas on what kind of data workflows or visualizations you would like to do, just poke me. I can explain how to use Airflow and Superset. It's really not complex. You can essentially write integrations in Python and then just port them to Airflow, so they're easy to manage and run regularly on a daily or weekly or whatever basis. And if we go to the next slide, we can see that this is just a screenshot of our instance. Right now, it's just one flow that I've implemented as an example, which is the collection of unique peer IDs, which we use for retention metrics. And it's actually not that complex. I use it as an example to explain how things work. There's also a few examples taken from the tutorials for Airflow. They're quite basic. They're a good intro. Can I get another slide? This is an example of a Superset dashboard. It's a pretty powerful tool for visualization. You can do all kinds of graphs, flow charts, like as you can see here, maps with data. It's pretty good. I haven't played with it as much, but we have a lot of examples with like dummy data in there, so we can take a look and check out how powerful it is. Can I get another slide? Thank you. And in other news, we have improved documentation for uploading F-Droid releases. We have submitted a Go mobile package for building our Status Go for next PKGs, because it's used across multiple repos right now. It would be easier to just fetch it directly from next PKGs. We have, thanks to Roman, a pretty good fix for some iOS issues, specifically issues with Status Go builds. So we shouldn't be seeing any more nightly failures. We also have a lot of refactoring done to essentially port multiple Ansible roles to use Docker Compose, so our infrastructure is a bit more unified. Arthur has also worked on essentially encoding our layout of repositories in the Status IAM GitHub organization into a Terraform set of modules. So we can manage not only repos themselves, but their permissions and configurations for things like, for example, webhooks. It's pretty neat. We also have a lot of changes in terms of backups. We have ported pretty much all backups and also added new backups for various services by using Restic, which is the automation tool for backups that we introduced like 2 months ago. And it's been going well for about 2 months. I see no problems with it. I'm actually very happy with it. So if anyone is looking for a simple tool for automating backups, I definitely recommend Restic. Very, very nice. That's about it. Thank you.
Thanks, Jacob. Much appreciated. And lastly, we've got Johnny. So Johnny, over to you for a marketing update. Thanks, Johnny.
Thanks, Terry. So it's a lot been going on in Latin America. Juan David, Eduardo have exploiting, that is the wrong word, exploring new influencers with our PR team down in Argentina. We're just trying to find proper partners for the launch of the new communities feature. So we're honing in on who we work with, and Juan David and Eduardo have been doing a great job with that. Eduardo, very excited, will be joining full time, so really pushing things in Brazil and helping things across the region. He even arranged for an interview with one of our Brazilian influencers, Felipe Persigo and Jared, which went really well, and the community responded very well to it. So that's awesome to see. We are also continuing a campaign in South Korea led by Jinho, and we've seen a lot of success. This has been amazing. Jinho's done an amazing job. Our blog, so the Naver blog, increased significantly. You can see the numbers there. Our cacao community is growing like day over day. Recently in the last week, it was 38% increase. Naturally, and this is no surprise, we do know a lot of SNT trade volume comes out of Korea. And whether this is due to the campaign or the general market, we don't know. But volume increased on those exchanges by 334%. So obviously we want to continue to push comms and educational material and PR in the region. Jinho also, with the help of Jakob and a few others, created a simple tutorial for setting up a free status node. And we wanted to cap it because there are no crypto economic incentives behind it. We really just wanted to help people set up nodes if they wanted to. And Jinho's got 22 node runners going. And then we also, with the support of a media agency out in South Korea, held a community event in which we invited people in to ask questions and AMA, and we had 81 participants. So we're getting a lot of good traction in the region, and we're going to continue it. We're continuing our partnership with the media team out there, so that's great. Simon has been running the Evergreen CPI campaigns. Those are steady for now. However, we're preparing for a fairly radical test in which we'll pause our campaigns for a bit to then run message testing across different value props, because we want to set baselines for these quote unquote specialty campaigns we'll run, which will then allow us to understand which messages resonate, which campaigns perform better. And then we can set weekly indexes for how these campaigns run. Reporting, Alec already mentioned, he walked through a lot of those slides, but he's got a lot of this stuff into Google's Data Studio, and it's all automated now. So these reports are coming in. We're reviewing them bi-weekly, but we can do that more often. And I highly encourage everyone who's interested to join our bi-weekly Friday call, where we walk through the data and just look at various insights. From a branding and positioning perspective, with Simona, we're going to be really just thinking about how we position the product with the launch of these new features, because our various web properties have to be updated. How we talk about the product has to be updated, and there's a good amount of work that has to go on there. And then from a content perspective, Alec has already touched on this, but I want to reiterate that for Q1, our goal as a marketing team was to look at top of funnel channels and increase our top of funnel metrics, right? Top of funnel is everything that happens outside of the app that funnels down into the point of conversion. So impressions, site visits, site traffic, followers on social, and all of those have pretty much gone up. So we've seen really good success. Now we need to shift the focus to conversion, which we will be doing in Q2, and then even more so in Q3 with the rollout of some exciting features. So just really quickly, like on Twitter, driven by James, who's tapped into the community there, crypto Twitter community. Our impressions are up 46% over the last 28 days. Our profile visits are up 62% over the last 28 days, and 4.3 thousand new followers. So yeah, James, great job. Everyone, great job. Alex with the content. The visual assets are beautiful. I think people are engaging with it. So yeah, now we'll shift focus to conversion, which is the next step. Thanks, Terry.
Thanks, Johnny. And that's it from us. So thank you everyone for tuning in and listening. Sorry about the technical hitch at the beginning of my mic, but hope you guys managed to enjoy everything you've heard so far. The next town hall will be on the 10th of May. So we look forward to giving you more updates there. Thank you everyone for presenting today. Have a great day. Bye.